Ipsy, I've been one of your creators for years. What happened? Hey besties, and welcome back. So do y'all remember when makeup subscription boxes were everything? What changed? Because something out there changed. This might actually be a very hot take, but I subscribed to Ipsy back in 2012, not because of YouTube, not because of content creators, but because of my friend's then girlfriend. Me and Ipsy have a strong bond. I have looked at her online, I have checked my bank statements. I can't find how much Ipsy cost at launch, but if I remember correctly, I believe it was $10 a month back then. Ipsy's main competitor back in the day was Birchbox. Birchbox launched before Ipsy did. They launched back in 2010, and it was pretty much the same thing. Then everyone started copying the model. Birchbox did well, but Ipsy really took off. And that was definitely because Michelle Phan was behind it, and they knew to go after content creators. That was how they were going to do what they wanted to do. That was how they were going to be successful. If they went after content creators, they got YouTube videos about it, they knew that was what they needed. Following their success, then BoxyCharm launched, Allure launched a box, Allure like the magazine launched a box, Walmart launched a box. At one point, my sister subscribed to a box called Petite Vor, which was all vegan products. Everybody jumped on the bandwagon. And when I say everybody jumped on the subscription box bandwagon, it got to the point that in 2015, Sephora launched their own subscription box, which your girl was one of the beta testers for it. I was first run Sephora Play subscription box. From the first box to the last box, I was a Sephora Play subscription girly. We don't hear people talking about subscription boxes anymore. And why is that? One reason that we don't hear about them often is because a lot of the businesses are closing or merging or just doing away with the subscription box. Sephora got rid of the Play box in 2020, which 2020, BoxyCharm merged with Ipsy. I'm trying to figure out if Birchbox even still exists because I have not heard anyone talk about Birchbox in years. I haven't heard anyone talk about the Walmart beauty box in years. Back in the day, it was all anyone ever talked about. Why do I think the brands are closing? Why do I think people lost interest? I think a lot of the brands bit off a lot more than they can chew. And we'll start with Birchbox. July 2014, a little shop opens up in Soho, New York. That little shop, Birchbox. Birchbox opened up a physical store, which I went to it a few times. I was a big fan of the Birchbox physical store. I was not a subscriber to the actual subscription service, but I liked the store. And whenever I was in the city, I would make a point to go to the store. You'd walk in and there was one section of the store where it was just a build your own Birchbox. They also had, you could buy full sizes of the things in the boxes. I got, back then the Swell water bottles were a thing. I got a really cute faux marble Swell water bottle from there back in the day, but I digress. You would go in and you would get the box and you would see all the travel size items and you would choose, I think it was 5 items, and you just build your own Birchbox. And it cost, I believe, the same price that it cost for the monthly subscription. It was $10 a month to subscribe and it was $15 to build your own. That's what it was. I just Googled. Honestly, I got some of my favorite products that I've ever used that way. I was a big fan of the build your own Birchbox, and I don't mind spending the extra $5 for me to choose all of my own products for it because I got exactly what I wanted. Operating a store in Soho isn't cheap. They closed in December of 2018. I feel like a physical store was just more than Birchbox could handle. Yes, the company is still around. My Google told me that. But I don't hear people talk about it anymore. I miss that store. I miss being able to build my own Birchbox. In May of 2013, Michelle Phan from Ipsy decided that she saw enough of BeautyCon online, she wanted to compete with that. And she launched Generation Beauty, shortened to Gen Beauty, later known as Ipsy Live. If you followed me for any amount of time, if you know anything about me and what I refer to as my past life, I went to every Gen Beauty that I could. First one was May of 2013 in LA, didn't go then. I never thought that I would be able to go to a Gen Beauty. Then 2015 rolls around. In 2015, Gen Beauty put on their first New York City event. So me and my best friend Casey, which if you've watched me for any amount of time, you know Casey, went to Gen Beauty. That first one that I went to, I just went as a normal attendee with Casey. I had a wonderful time. And I'm like, I need to go again. After that event, I was looking more into Ipsy and the events they put on, which honestly I think went off without a hitch. I really do. And then I found out that Ipsy had also launched Ipsy Open Studios, which was a network for small creators, which was, again, I think biting off a little more than they could chew. But the company was run by Michelle Phan, who was a content creator, and she wasn't technically their CEO. Their CEO had been president of Funny or Die, which was one of Will Ferrell's video production companies. I ended up joining Ipsy Open Studios. I was invited to Gen Beauty 2016 in Los Angeles, but my partner at the time told me absolutely not. Since missing that first Gen Beauty that I had to miss because my partner said no, I've been to every single Gen Beauty except for San Francisco. I've been to every New York one, I've been to every Toronto one, I've been to the LA ones, and I've been as a creator. I've met so many people that I now can consider lifelong friends just from Ipsy, which started as just a subscription service, which is wild. In 2018, Ipsy launched Glam Bag Plus, which I believe wasn't much different. It was just more samples and maybe 1 or 2 full-size products thrown in. And then 2019 happened, and that's what I believe was the beginning of Ipsy's downfall. In 2019, they released what they called then Glam Bag Ultimate. It's gone through a few different names now. It's now the Icon Box. The big thing about it is that it's all full-size products. Consider it more comparable to the FabFitFun box, which is a whole nother subscription box. The thing with the Icon box is that it's not monthly, it's seasonally, and they bring in some different type of celebrity or influencer to be the face of it. With them being all full-size products, that's also when the products in the Glam Bag started to change, but I'll get into that later. Also in 2019, Ipsy launched their first in-house brand, which again, I think was a little bit more than they could chew. They also rebranded their events. It wasn't Gen Beauty anymore. It was Ipsy Live, New York City. Potentially one of the best times I've ever had. I still have a vlog about it on this channel. And then 2020 happened. We all know what happened in 2020. Somehow 2020 was, again, when Sephora Play shut down. That's when Ipsy decided to launch 2 new in-house brands. They launched Refreshments, which if you were subscribed to them, you never heard the end of Refreshments. And then something that I didn't know until doing research for this video, Ipsy was the one behind Addison Rae's Item Beauty. And then of course, the biggest change, towards the end of 2020, Ipsy bought BoxyCharm. So Ipsy now also owns BoxyCharm, and they've changed some of their branding, where the normal Ipsy bag is still the Ipsy bag, but then the Glam Bag Plus is now the BoxyCharm, and now their big one is the Icon Box. Everything changed a little, but it's fine. Why do I feel like these boxes aren't talked about anymore? I'm glad you asked. Ipsy did what all the other subscription services did. They've done the slow price increase. So back when I signed up, it was $9.99 a month, including shipping. It is now $14 a month plus tax and $1.99 for shipping and handling. I now budget $20 a month for the smallest Ipsy bag. And honestly, I'm not excited for them every month. When they come in, I don't immediately rip it open and get super excited to see what's in it and what I have this month. They change the size of the products, which really, really gets under my skin. Ipsy used to be travel size products. That's the only way I can think to put it. It was travel size products. Now, they're sample size. They are what you would get if you asked for a sample at Sephora when Sephora did samples. I will get into that as well. And they've stopped with the recognizable name brands. They still will throw them in every now and then, but it's not like it used to be. Ipsy now has a shop on their app and website where if you like what's in your box, you can buy it full size. They have other full size products that you can buy. You can redeem points for products. They're really relying on making their money that way. They really thought they did something by shrinking the sizes of our products. Once upon a time, I got one of these in my box. Just the normal size you would get at Sally's. Now I get these. Just packets of anti-frizz wipes. I can in fact open up on my Ipsy app and tell you what is in this month's bag, because genuinely, I don't even remember what I got this month because I wasn't excited anymore. I'm never excited anymore. So they take away all of the surprise of what you're getting because now you get emails about it. They tell you in the app exactly what you got. My bag for the month of August, I have a Beauty Vault brand liquid eyeliner in black, sample size Dr. Paw Paw tinted lip balm in peach pink, a sample size, I don't know how to pronounce it, Olivia Uma, I'm guessing? Uma, maybe? Sample size of their Glass Skin Shine Muscat Cleanser, a sample size of the Tony Moly Prime Collagen Makeup Primer Mini, which I can't even use probably. They don't have any place to check if you're vegan or if you have those types of preferences. And then a mini of the Wander Beauty Wondrous Glow Highlighter. These are all minis. They're sample sizes. They're not even travel sizes. They are sample sizes. the name brands that are in there are either very small name brands or they're indie brands, but by being on YouTube, you've heard of them. Like, I love Wander Beauty. Do not get me wrong. I adore Wander Beauty, but they're not the same as getting NARS in your box like I've gotten in the past. I feel like Ipsy is repeating the same brands a lot, and that's because they have built a relationship with these brands, and I understand that. I've grown to love a lot of the brands that I've learned about from Ipsy. Nomad Cosmetics is amazing, and I learned about them from Ipsy. Wander Beauty, Pure Lise, and their sister company, Yensa. I love them. I've learned about all of them from Ipsy, but I'll be honest, not from the Ipsy bags, from the Ipsy events. Although my favorite eyeliner of all time is from M Cosmetics, but they also don't make my favorite eyeliner of all time anymore. So like, Ipsy, we need to fight, because I found that from you and now it doesn't exist, so like, we're fighting. I understand from a company standpoint. I do. I very much understand why they've made a lot of the decisions that they have. I don't think that they've been thinking it fully through from a consumer standpoint. We're in a recession. People are subscribing to the subscription boxes for beauty instead of going to Sephora because they don't have the money to go out and drop 60 bucks at Sephora. I subscribed to a $10 a month beauty service because it was 2012. I was a broke 20-year-old. I was working retail. Ipsy tried very hard to be everything and to compete with everyone. And I feel like that was not a good thing for them. I haven't heard of them going under, but I haven't heard anyone talking about them. I haven't seen any of their events in a very long time. Now Ulta has launched their event and BeautyCon just came back, which is wild to me. People can't afford the bigger subscription boxes. The only people that I see nowadays talking about these subscription boxes are people that are sent them. I genuinely don't think that the average consumer can justify the cost, but the average consumer can't justify a lot nowadays in this market. But that also ties into something else that brands are doing that I don't think they're thinking through how the consumer feels. Brands are doing away with samples. Sample culture is ending. Let me rephrase, because maybe the brands aren't doing it, but the shops are doing it. For example, say that I want to try out a new NARS foundation. We'll use NARS as an example because I am actually probably going to have to buy something online from them in the very near future. So we'll use NARS as an example. I've never bought something online from the NARS website, but I assume that if I did, they would do what most brands do, which is they would toss some samples in with my purchase. Technically, Sephora does that, but they barely count as samples, if that makes sense. If you've seen the Sephora samples, then you know. Sephora wants you to redeem points for samples now. The samples they give you for free aren't even a full use, and the samples you redeem points for are maybe at most 2 uses. Oh, but if you're near a Sephora store, they'll still make you a sample of anything. That used to be true. I don't know if some Sephora stores will still do samples, but I know mine doesn't do samples anymore. At all. If you want a sample of a perfume, so that you can, try it out the next day because, oh, I'm already wearing perfume, but this perfume looks good, it sounds like it would smell good, I like the smell of it, I want to see how it is on my skin, but I'm already wearing something. They won't give you a sample to bring home anymore. They will outright tell you, buy a smaller version then if you don't want to spend the money. And that's insane to me. Companies aren't thinking about the consumer, they're thinking about the bottom line, which again, I understand you're a company, you want to make sure that you don't shutter, it's important. But you also need to keep in mind the consumers. They're the people who are buying from you. They're the ones that are making you money and keeping you open. We are going into a recession. I don't know how many times and how many videos I've had to say that in, but it's as if brands forget about that because they're so concerned with staying open during this recession that we're heading into that they forget what they need to do for the consumers to be able to still afford them. Because of that, because of a lack of giving out samples and the samples that you do get barely being anything, it's as if Ipsy's like, yes, we can do all these much smaller size samples. Instead of travel size, it's sample sized. And I don't like that. I really don't. I'm not spending $20 a month for a bag of samples. I know this sounds like I'm just shitting on Ipsy. I'm not. I'm still subscribed to Ipsy. I spend about 20 bucks a month on Ipsy. I think that the products are great for when I'm traveling, especially. I'll literally put them in my travel makeup bag and go. Every now and then there will be something in there that I just adore. That is just a hidden gem. Every now and then I would get something from Pure Lise or from Yensa or Nomad or Wander, which are brands that I love that I've learned about from Ipsy. I will say though, I'm not your average consumer. I do this. I do content creation. I have gotten a lot of PR over the years. I have gathered so many products Some people collect things. I collect cosmetics and dice. I'm a little bit of a dice goblin. Do I think that subscription boxes and subscription bags are still a good idea for certain people? I will probably always stay subscribed to Ipsy. I will be honest. I love what the company has done for me and my life and all of that. So I will stay subscribed to them. I will keep getting my bags every month out of company loyalty. But who do I think would actually benefit most from an Ipsy subscription? Preteens, teenagers, or in general, people just getting into makeup. If you don't have a big makeup collection and you really want to get into makeup, I think it'd be a great way to learn what you like, what you don't like, trial and error. I'm sure that the icon box that I'm not subscribed to, but I'm sure it's great. I am. I do see people doing unboxings of it. It looks awesome. But at the end of the day, I think Ipsy is great if you're just getting into makeup. I think subscription boxes are great if you're just getting into it. But at the end of the day, subscription services did what companies always do. They wanted to be bigger and better than the others. They bit off more than they could chew, and they learned that the hard way. I do think Ipsy's gonna come out on top in this situation. I do. I think that Ipsy is the Netflix of cosmetics, if that makes sense. Netflix came out on top for streaming. Obviously, there's so many other apps now, but Netflix was the OG and is still around. I feel like that's what Ipsy's going to be. There might be others that come out that people are all excited about, but I feel like Ipsy's gonna stick around. They're gonna be the OG that is still on top. It's not fun. It's not exciting. There's no surprise. The novelty has worn off. And I genuinely think that's what it all boils down to. The novelty of these subscription boxes has worn off. That's why people don't talk about them anymore. If y'all stuck around for my entire rant about boxes, thank you. If you like this, make sure to subscribe. I post new videos every Wednesday, Sunday, and then alternating Mondays and Fridays. When you do subscribe, make sure that you hit that bell, otherwise YouTube will never tell you when I post new videos. It's a little bit broken like that. Comment down below, have you ever been subscribed to a subscription box? Are you still subscribed to any subscription box, or is it only me? Am I the only one that still pays monthly for a subscription box? Ipsy, I've supported you since 2012. I literally have paid for a subscription since 2012. I've gone to all of your events. I was a creator until you forgot about all of us. Hi, if you want to start sending me them for free instead, I would really appreciate that. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
I don't know, but I've been told the world outside is oh so cold. So cold.